What's up, Yins? This week on Car Dad Bill, we have a 2024 Genesis GV70 rear-wheel drive 3.3 twin-turbo Sport Prestige. This is the top of the line Genesis G70 rear-wheel drive. It is a sports sedan. Let's go for a ride. All right, Yins, standing outside the GV70, and I wanted to start at this angle because the stance that this car has is just gorgeous. Look at the bulge in the back, how the body just goes around those back rear wheel arches. 19-inch wheels, looks perfect on this vehicle. I love the paint in between the headlights on these Genesis. It separates the lights. It gives it a really distinct look. The LEDs flashing are gorgeous. The front end straight up and down, very aggressive yet elegant. Genesis makes a badass vehicle. They are gorgeous, front, back, side, top, bottom, everywhere you look at it. Nice little accents on the sides. Look at that wheel design. It's got Brembo brakes all the way around it as well. LED turn signals in the mirrors. Up front you have the LED headlights and turn signals. Look at those headlights. Stunning design. Two-tone. You have the roof up top here that's just, it's clean. And this paint, it's called gray. It's called Venetian gray. And it is really, really nice looking. Back here, that's that portion of the car that I think is the best looking at all. It just curves around the back. And you have the side turn signals. You can see when you're on the side of the vehicle, you can still see those turn signals blinking. And it does the same thing in the back here. Like wraparound turn signals on those back tail lights. And just sweet looking design, sweet LEDs. Dual exhaust rumbling out back because you have that 3.3 liter twin turbo with almost 400 horsepower. And look, you even have quad pipes in there. You have two over here and two over there. But the G70 is a small sedan, but it's just a great looking sports sedan all around. Very, very clean, very stylish. Let's go inside and take a look. All right, now we're inside the G70. Let's turn off these flashers. But just take a look at how they do things in Genesis. It is spectacular, and it's very elegant. It's very sports sedan-y. It's very what you would expect. I mean, look at the pillow, leather seats. Oh, and it just looks wonderful. This red seat belts, for crying out loud. Lexicon sound system in the doors, and there's a subwoofer down there in the floor. Up front, you have a driver-centric, everything's kind of tilted my way, cockpit. Really small, thin steering wheel, really good for aggressive driving. Paddle shifters for your fun times. I love how everything has the stitching. You have the nice red stitching everywhere. You have the red stitching on the seats. You have the Genesis logo in your mats. And then you have the stitching along here. You have the stitching along on top as well. All the way around. You have a regular gauge on this side with the regular fuel gauge, and then everything from here over, including this, which the outside looks like a real gauge, but it's not. It's all digital, and everything changes, you know, with what you want to be changed to. You can change all the different stuff. And that stuff's all changed by the button up here on the dash. So it's not really, you know, it's a nice digital display up here with your speed, but then this is also the speed up here as well, and you never lose, or you have your tachometer on this side with your speed, but you always have the rotary regular one, which I really like having that one because I'm old school and I'm an old man, but I love having it. The Genesis logo is really elegant, sporty. All of your different controls right here. Down here we have dedicated HVAC controls. This stuff these are buttons, and then everything inside here is a screen. And it really works really well. It's really touch sensitive, really fast. So whatever you need, it works really well. Heated steering wheel, different levels of heat, your seats, heated, cooled. Down below, we have the 24 volt, or the 12 volt, excuse me, cigarette lighter adapter, the old style USBs, and then the wireless charging pad is right there. Up top here, dedicated buttons for the map, for the navigation controls, for your favorites, for the media, for the setup, for the radio, all that stuff's there. And then we have the home screen up here on the screen, which I love. I love the home screen. It gives you everything you need to know. It gives you a little bit of navigation over here, gives you the temperature of the area you're in, it gives you your radio station, the time, the date. It's very elegant. And if you want to go into something, say you're like, wait, where am I at? What road is this on? Boom. You just touch the navigation area and it takes you to the map. That's super duper helpful. If you're driving along, you want to change the radio station, I touch the radio station and here we are at the radio. So that's good stuff. That's useful information. That's useful screen. Your on off buttons there. You have a dedicated button for your radio as well. And it's just clean. Let's be honest. Clean, sporty, big sunroof up top. Let's check out the back seat real quick. Oh, real quick, gear selector. So it's a traditional looking gear selector, right? Into drive, into reverse, but then there's a parking button. And it's a little bit different than the other car makers, but that's okay. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it works fairly well. Parking brake, drive mode selector, and all your good stuff down here. Your parking cameras, your auto hold, and all that stuff. Parking brake. Always set the parking brake, folks. Always set the parking brake. Let's jump in the back and take a look. All right, I adjusted my seat. That's the beep that happens when you close the door with it running. The door panel is the same as in the front. Really clean. Excellent leather on the doors. Genesis door sills. And then I've adjusted my seat so that I would be sitting behind myself. And look. Oh. Thank God for these little knee spots because it's tight. I'm not going to lie. It's a tight rear seat. You do have charging, and you have the new ones back here. So the kids with their new cords in the back seat have that. This seat moves forward and backward with this button in case, the passenger over on this side needs a little more space. But I mean, I'm sitting behind myself and I can sit here. It's not terrible, and I have good headroom above me as well. But it's pretty tight. Let's check out the trunk. What's nice back here is you can either walk up to the vehicle with your key and this will open on its own. It'll beep 3 times and then it'll open on its own. Or you can touch this button. That opens the trunk. And I'll be honest with you, I had Willie's hockey bag, my hockey bag, Joey's goalie pads, and then I had to put Joey's goalie equipment in this back seat. I had to flip the seat down because you have a 60-40 split back there. So you can see the 60-40 split. I put this side down and I was able to fit the sticks and everything through there. So I was able to bring them to practice and whatnot in games in this, but it's a little bit tight for 2 hockey bags and hockey sticks. Also up here you have the lock and the door closed. So when you're leaving, you want to close this and lock it, you hit that. Otherwise, you just hit the regular button. Let's go for a ride. All right, dudes and girls, before we go on a ride, I have the numbers and stuff like that. 2024 Genesis GV70 rear wheel drive, 3.3 twin turbo V6 Sport Prestige. So that 3.3 liter twin turbo has 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque. That is plenty of horsepower for a vehicle like this. In fact, it's awesome. and it sounds good, and it feels good, it drives good, it hauls butt on the highway, and it hauls butt at 75 miles an hour. You step on it and it's jumping forward. So you do have the good boost. I really like how it performs. That's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Brembo brakes all the way around those 19-inch wheels. So you have the big calipers holding you back, which is super, super smooth, no fading, no nothing, no drama. It's got the Lexicon sound system. Sport package gives you the electric controlled suspension, limited slip, heads up display, surround view, suede up here, leather here, all this good stuff. I mean, it gives you a lot of good package items. Genesis claims 21 miles per gallon. CDB real MPG is 20.5. That's driving in sport mode half the time. That's giving it the business half the time. I'm okay with it. For a sports sedan with rear-wheel drive, you're asking for a purist sports sedan. 20 miles per gallon is not terrible. It really isn't. MSRP is between 48K and 53K. I'm going to assume this one leads more towards the $53,000 mark. Genesis gave me a Monroney, but it didn't have a price on it. So I just did a quick Google search, kind of modified it myself. The Sport Prestige package with everything was topping out around $53,000. So that's not bad. That's like, entry level, mid range sports sedan stuff. You have almost 400 horsepower. It's rear wheel drive. So you're asking for all of that purist kind of stuff. I feel like that's a good price for what you're getting here. Let's get on the road and talk about the good and the bad. All right, guys, the good and the bad. And I have to be honest with you, there's not a ton of bad, because this is one of those sedans that just performs well, and it's kind of I don't want to say specific, but it is. It's a sports sedan, rear-wheel drive, 19-inch wheels. It's got all of that stuff that you want in a purist kind of sports sedan. So my bad list is literally that it has a rough ride and tight interior. And that's only bad because I have a million kids and I have a million places to go and things to do. So if this is like a retiree or a single person or someone that just doesn't have a lot of people and stuff to take around, this car is fantastic. You will love it. Listen to that noise. And then I'm in sport mode right now, and it just jumps. It just jumps forward, and it is great. And when you pull out of a side street or you pull out into traffic and you have it in sport mode or sport plus even, it just grabs and then it kind of lets go a little bit and you get a little bit of wiggle and you can kind of drift it out into traffic. It is a wonderful vehicle to drive. Let's get to the good side, because those quibbles are quibbles. You have 19-inch wheels and electronic suspension. It's going to be a little bit rough. It's a purist driving car. So those things are inherent to this vehicle. So while they are bad on my bad list and tight interior, like I showed you, the back seat's kind of tight, it is what it is. The good side, though, however, is the power, the handling, and the style, the presence it has. Genesis has found the way to give you the presence of an ultra luxury vehicle when you show up places. This vehicle, when you pull into a parking lot or you pull into somewhere where there's people walking around, especially in this gray color, people notice it. People see it. People like it. They think it's stylish. They think it's great looking. And then when you get behind the wheel and actually drive this thing, the power is spot on. It is, you don't need any more than this, to be honest with you. It's plenty of power. You can pull away from the pack. The part of this car that stood out to me the entire time I drove this week was the handling, the braking and the handling. It handles like it's on rails. It handles like a small hatchback. It's smooth in the turns. It pulls out of the turns really well. It's flat in all the corners that you really want it to be flat in. I took it on all of my favorite backcountry roads this week, and I also took it on a little bit of a road trip, and it was spectacular on those rides, especially in sport mode. Sport Plus is aggressive. I don't notice a gigantic difference between Sport Plus and Sport, other than you lose the traction control, and it gives you it really, 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 like right now I'm in Sport Plus. I just switched it over to Sport Plus, and it really like keeps you in the lower gear. Sport is like a milder version of a sport mode, but it's great for daily driving. It's great for highway commutes. It's great for country roads. It's great for all that stuff because it's just aggressive enough, if that makes any sense. But Sport Plus takes off the traction control, and it gives you, like, if you want to give it the business, you give it the business, and it's going to let you. And you're still going to have a little bit of nanny there to keep you, reeled in. But if you really want to give it the business, Sport Plus is where it's at. Can't talk enough. I'm gonna give it some throttle here from the stop sign since there's no one around, no one in front of me. And it'll literally do a rolling burnout. Like it'll literally, like I was just rolling across, gave it the throttle, and it is zooming. Great car. Genesis did a great job. This is Car Dad Bill this week. Real cars for real people for real life. I'll see you guys next time. You got to listen to it again. It sounds really good. I hope the wind noise isn't too much, but it is something to behold. Woo, baby! I like it. I like it a lot.